Okay, are we streaming? There we are. Okay. Looks like things are doing. There we are. Okay, cool. I was having some OBS issues apparently. Hey, we're going to do some Eberron artwork. So, follow, like, subscribe. Down below is a link to my Twitter. I just posted there that I've gone live. Most folks probably catch me on various Discord channels like the DMsGuild or Indestructible Boys Designosphere or Drive Through RPG Workshop or Treant Monk, Dungeoneers Pack. These are all the places I hang out for inspiration and sharpen my knives at, classes and constructs, Zipperon. Most of these folks have YouTube channels. That's how I found out about them in the first place. Cleric Corner, Rich Mary, Fry Minis. Hold on, I'm almost done here. There's the D&D Discord channel I like to hang out at, and Keith Baker's Eberron channel on Discord is awesome as well. So, okay, cool. I think that should clear my plate. I'm going to shift the window to background to full screen instead of just a Photoshop window. As I understand it, you can't see. What are you doing, monkey? You can't see any of the window selections that I do. Like if I just show this screen, you can't see the pop-up. So if I do the full screen, you can see all the buttons that I'm pressing everywhere. So hopefully this will be a fun experience. So what are we doing today? Like, subscribe, share. I'm trying to get myself up to partnership status so I can have art time be productive no matter what. And Crystals of Mabar, it's a 7th or anywhere from 7th to 9th level adventure, I guess 6th to 8th level adventure, depending on how many days you want to take to tackle it. So we're building the book cover to it. We have Crystals of Mabar. We have spaced out the letter blocks that we're going to use for, you can see the rough lettering there, Crystals of Mabar. So I can use these font boxes to know how much space each letter can fill to be able to remain literally in curve with the setup of the document and to make sure that everything's properly sized. So if I start at the middle and work my way out, I'm hoping I'll be able to build a balance there. So we built an Eberron font. You can tell it's not just copy pasting because the dragon swirl is different and the lettering is different, but otherwise it was a nice practice run for me to make sure like I have dots and lines lined up that I'm thinking fontally. Plus it's just fun to have a little Eberron down in the middle there, or down at the bottom there for label purposes. So once I get this lettering done, I think what would be fun is, since there's 6 different adventure hooks, is to have a party of 3 and 3 here. And then this fog in effect, I could probably just do like an undead splash like I did with packs and patrons. So that would probably do well. And at that point, the cover is pretty much going to be done. So I'm liking. Okay, so we have here the percentage of size, and that's about the size that that artwork appears on the DMsGuild. When let's go visit DMsGuild real quickly. You can visit DMsGuild with me by clicking on the link below, and it will take you to my super fun bundle. Hold on, let's go check out the super fun bundle. DMsGuild, blap. Let's just hit that button and bounce on over there. 5 color mana spell point variant rules, right? So here's these are all 35% off. These are great because you can like open up this document, and then if you want to test drive my content before you actually use it, you can click on full size preview, and you can read the entire thing from cover to verify that you like the cut of this jib. And I would certainly appreciate your support. So check that stuff out. The packs and patrons, I think, is linked down below as well. That is, boy, that's a fun book. So this is what I was talking about with, as far as like that middle motif. We were talking about what to do with this space up in here. And I think something like this undead scroll in here, you know, yeah, let's see if I can zoom in on that. It's just like just hordes of undead, right? Because Ravnica's full of dead. It's got spirits everywhere. So I figure I could probably go with a similar approach to resolve the black space in the packs in the Crystals of Mabar cover. So, but to further point, we come here to the dashboard. This is the size that I see artwork come through as. So we go back to here, and we zoom out. It's a 6 point something. See, it's just about the 6 point something is actually a little bit smaller than here, but you can see that it's just about the same size. So if it looks interesting, and I could actually go to probably like that. Yeah, there you go. How about like that? Boy, why am I being a perfectionist? There it is. Yeah, 6.5%. That's the size that you would see it on this strip if you go to DMsGuild. So this is the competing space that I have. This image versus like these other things that would be lined up like. They'll be lined up like this. So this is this and that. So there you go. So I want to make sure I've got blazing red letters here. This is Crystals of Mabar. Probably could stand to have Eberron to be bigger on the cover, but I think there's some broad image recognition here that seems probably, as long as the text comes through Crystals of Mabar, hopefully that'll be interesting enough for people to go, what is going on with that eyeball? So they can pull in and they can see what's going on. So that's the plan. That's the strat. I'm hoping that the shape recognition you got going on here is strong enough to justify what the cover looks like. I like it a lot, so I don't want to change it. My gut's telling me it's the right way to go, but this is where my thought process that got me here. This is why we're in this space right now. So you see, yeah, it's actually pretty cool. Okay, cool. So we're going to try taking care of these letters. So like I said, I've got these things boxed in. I've got sample letters I built down here, though these are hardly the original Eberron letters. This is a similar but not copyright infringing Eberron logo that I've dropped onto the cover here. So let's see. So that's our frame. I'm gonna back that off a little bit. Back that off a lot. Got the reds going there. Let's see what we can build. So I'm not much of a font guy. This is always a big experiment on my part. So hard to say how this is going to shake out. But all we can do is try, right? So here we are, giving it a go. Obviously I started here on the O. That's cool. 1 and 2. Go like this. Hey, how you doing, man? Thank you. That is a massive compliment. The long-term goal is just to keep doing artwork here for the books that I build, and hopefully I'll be able to get enough of a following eventually that I could do Kickstarter projects. Just, you know, you guys know I'm going to build an art because here's a stream of me. This is like one book. I got the other 2 books that I'm building right now on stream. Go from the development phase all the way up to post-edit into layout, and then from layout into the artwork and mapping and all that stuff. Hopefully having this kind of a documented track record here being produced live on stream is going to be in the long-term good evidence for me to be able to successfully run Kickstarter projects. Hey, if you guys like how these books look, you can check out all of them cover to cover on DMsGuild. Check out the link below. All those books you can read cover to cover, so you have an idea of what my books look like when they're done, the kind of stuff that I produce. I think that's kind of the sales pitch, that I, eventually get into a space where I've got enough of a following that if I do a Kickstarter, you just refer back to these streams. It's like, I can guarantee you I will succeed in this project. I just need you guys to back it. That sort of thing. So I'm not there yet, but that's the direction I'm trying to get in. So I figured if I'm going to try to be, oh boy, God, that looks horrible. Okay, so we're just going to do some, blah! So we're just going to try to see if I can build this thing out. If you see my face fall off the end of the screen, it means I'm like way too freaking close to my monitor. So I'm going to try to keep an eye on the corner here so I can see what's going on with my face. But there's also, this is where all my chat's at. Hey, Flutes, man. Come on. Tyler. Hey, guys. Let's see. What a legend. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to build books no matter what. I'm just compelled to do it. It has to happen. And most of the time when I'm writing, it's zero space. It's muse time. Like artists talk about being in flow, and writers, like authors, they talk about being in flow, and athletes talk about being in flow. It's all the same flow. It's just what is it that you do creatively that allows you to empty your mind and just to let the process escape through you. And I'm getting better and better at listening to her and quieting my mind so that I can just say what needs to be said and do what needs to be done to get the thing, to build the thing. So God's willing, I'll have another 30 some odd years of this in me before my body completely falls apart. And I don't think I want to be a first chip recipient, because if you've watched your Ghost in the Shell, they talked about this. When people first started integrating technology into their headwear, there was these crazy fucking viruses that would happen, that would fry different parts of people's brains because the chip would cook, because it would get overclocked and it would just end up burning inside of your brain. You get a hole in your head. So I don't remember what the term was. It was like deadheads or something like that. But that was like a major theme in like a 4 or 5 episode stretch in Ghost in the Shell for the standalone Complex TV show. So I tend to like to think about what they think about, because Ghost in the Shell is just it's great futurism. Very great futurism. It has things like universal basic income in the form of a tin can that gets dropped like a cat feeder from a factory. Tumbler is just full of canned soup or canned beans, and it'll just you put your card in, it's just bump, and then plunk, there's your can of food. Go away. Come back tomorrow. That's how they handle universal basic income. They gave you a place you could stay. They gave you your can of food you can cook with in your burner each day. Otherwise, shut up and get out of the way. So it's like Ghost in the Shell is good. So yeah, I'm going to skip the chip, which probably means I only have 30 years left on my plate of being productive before my wetware gives way to the insanity of age. So I'm hoping the intermittent fasting that I'm doing really does what it's supposed to do, which is drop your insulin levels. There's been a lot of research saying that Alzheimer's and different mind-affecting syndromes are driven by constant insulin presence, which is really compelling, but it could end up being pseudoscience. But I mean, I lost 100 pounds on intermittent fasting, so it straightened out all my bios and like all my cholesterol and all that stuff just completely balanced out when I got into fasting and lost all the weight. And then I picked up half of it again due to the COVID for 2 years and having worked from home, and now I've trimmed off another 2/3 of it, so I've still got like 20 pounds to go. But I was up, like I went down from 311 down to 195, and then got back up to 245, and now I'm back to 215. So lose another 20 pounds, I'll be back down to 195. and that'll be a really stable. That's a really stable seat for Phils to sit. So, but enough about me. Let's talk about me. Hey, there's a scroll going on over here. What's up, guys? That'll be yeah, it really will be. I lost 30 before COVID. Just yeah, exactly, yeah. Well, I mean, the difference between intermittent fasting and just counting calories is that you just make sure you count calories only inside of a finite time frame. Like for me, 5 hours is optimal. It's torturous. Like that hunger pain is literally the clutch being popped inside your body from burning sugar to burning fat, and your body hates it. It's like it just absolutely does not want to do it. So it kicks out all these chemicals called ghrelin, which are the hunger hormone, which makes your stomach growl when you're hungry. And it's literally the precursor to like, I am threatening you. If you keep this up, I'm going to start eating fat. And you're like, great, get up to it. It's like, well, you got to get through my guard first. So now it's a willpower test. Fun stuff. That I think should probably be like that. Stay inside the box. Perfect. Content. I'm getting the animated one. Right on, man. It's interesting how the time that you devote and the different tasks you spend during the day affects, you know, how much that affects your energy level and like what you're willing to do, what you consider out of your way that wasn't, you know, like a year ago. I'm still figuring out how to balance work from home. I do marketing for the local newspaper here, so it's a home job, which is awesome because it lets me stream at lunchtime like I do. Right now, I'm not considering a heavier weight on the letter. Boy, this is ass. like heavier lines on the bottom and then thinner lines on top. You know, that's not the current plan, but by God, that's some pug art. Let's see. I'm looking at that curve because I got these lines I got to hit inside here. That's interesting. Okay, so what I actually probably want is 65. I can line up the bottom. Maybe I should be interesting. All right, let's see what that does. Lines. Now let's do select is going to be modify is going to be contract equals there flop. That's a good way to do it. I don't know if this is going to work or not. Ooh, almost had it. Nice try. All right. Why does that be? Transform. Go to here. Let's grab both of those, and then let's do this. Nope, wait, wrong button. Do it like this. Oof, too tall. Looks like it. Are you doing custom font or book title? Yes, yes I am. Yes I am. Here's the pan out. See, it's crystals. So you can see it's crystals of Mabar. Mabar being the plane of darkness and evil and Eberron, and the crystals are the remnants of plant matter that dies in their manifest zone. It can happen as it still doesn't work. Is just restart a little bit. Yep. Yeah, thanks, Flute. And yeah, absolutely. If it doesn't work, I just try something else. It's easy, as easy as failing. This L is way too thin, but looks like these letters are lining up okay. 15. Oh yeah, the font size is 15 because I reduced the space in there by 15. So I want to come up here, get a 15 here. That's the proper thickness. I want to stay inside the nerf. Stay focused, Kearney. I'll get back to that. Where was I at? Oh yeah, I gotta get this thing down to the right size. So here and here, it's got to sit inside the box, which means that top bit needs to tuck in a bit. Bottom bit there is okay. Good. Here. Sorry, I feel neglectful that I'm not keeping an eye on the sidebar like I should for communication, but this really is an accountability project more than anything. My top priority is, seriously, I will be doing Kickstarters eventually, and I am completely, intentionally using this whole process of as a means of promising that when I say I'm going to produce an 80-page book about, Spelljammer combat mechanics or whatever the topic of conversation is going to end up being, that I can point to these things and say, see, this is nothing new to me. So that way people know that if they back the project, that it's going to go someplace. And it lets me do cool things like offer rewards, like be the art director, and you get to choose what the composition of this quarter-page panel will be on this particular page, talking about, I don't know, gyroscopic gravity, stuff like that, whatever it is that we're talking about. I think it's so fascinating in Spelljammer how all the different solutions that people are putting out there are like crapping on how vague orientation is with Spelljammer vessels in a zero-G environment. Like, it's being crapped on universally, and everyone's coming up with like facing and turn radius arcs, like turn radius like per movement, and like gun weapon arcs. When the book flat out, I mean, if you're going to use the content, if you're going to claim that you are on board with what Wizards does and you want to build products that support what Wizards does, you should think about ways that you can lean into where Wizards is trying to point the game towards. You may or may not like it, and if you don't, honestly, it sounds like you should be making your own game, but you wouldn't be the first of many, even large third-party publishers that were afraid of letting go of the idea that they could get sales off of Wizards of the Coast. But I really feel like if you're going to design systems and mechanics and stuff that are intended to be played with the Spelljammer book set that Wizards put out, then you should be trying to see like how can you take the ideas that they're putting in there and how can you just flesh out their ideas to make them work. And the idea of like gyroscopic gravity is they flat out just say that you are able during your turn to orient your ship in any direction so that all of your weapons can fire at any target that's visible. You don't have to worry about arc, you don't have to worry about reach, and you are literally the ship turns and bends to be able to get you into position so your weapons can fire, which means that it tumbles over each other in 3 dimensions at will during your turn. There's 0 consequences to movement. So all of your thought processing about how much do I need to turn during my movement or my weapons online, it's just none of that matters. That is like the one thing I think I like about Spelljammer more than anything that Wizards settled on as an absolute mechanic, which is these things are in free float gravity. You are controlling them as easily as a cat tumbling through space, or whatever language they would use if they had used it. But I love that. I love that they went there, and I love that they're like, you don't have to worry about this. Like they're like, you can hand wave a lot of physics, and that really chafes on a lot of people. It's like, no, take the lack of physics that they've released us from being beholden to, and instead use that freedom to instead just flesh out this space. Like they have these vague, neat ideas, but there isn't enough to them. Just lean into those ideas. Like any creature can be an unnatural creature in space. And why aren't there any rules about Kandori and dragons flying between worlds faster than 100 feet per round? It's like, well, you just got to make up those rules, and that's what the DMs Guild's great at. Is like here's like the connective tissue that, I mean, a lot of people might think I paid $50 for them to do this, but they did it anyway. And I think the greatest thing that they could have done is that you can now do things on the DMs Guild with this. So I just love leaning into that. So I don't know. I just love the DMs Guild. I think it's great. And if I'm using IPs, I'm going to be a hypocrite here because I know that like when all these different mechanical books I put out are done, like I did the Pax and Patrons of Ravnica, which was a book about warlocks only. And so it's 10 different warlock patrons. Each patron is the literal guild, one of the 10 guilds in Ravnica. And there's 5 new pact boons and there's 30 new invocations. But all it is Ravnica alternate warlocks. And that is like super niche, hyper focused. It's like 2 sales away from Copper, and it's been on the market for a year. Like this is the slowest moving book I've ever had. And it's the most hyper focused. So I love doing those super niche, very sub within sub market of genre. Like no one cares about a Boros Paladin specifically in the Ravnica setting playing D&D. It's like I'll just play a Vengeance Paladin. It's easy. And you're right, it is easy. But like there's so much specialization, like couture design that you can build by diving super deep into that niche stuff. It's just not profitable. At least not on the guild. There's not enough people that support those things to be like, this is something you should be investing your time and resources on building for like total reals, man. I swear. Like that is not how this thing is panned out. I'm gonna have to cut this here. I've got like mega rambles going, so don't mind me. I'm just pushing pixels. Let's put some suds in my bowl. There we go, buddy. Big Blue Moon fan. Grass drying machine. Sweet, it's a cat in the laundry drying machine. I get it. That's hilarious. Yeah, Wizards is treating a boy, they're commercializing some sacred stuff. I mean, like role-playing has a place in the collective, and Wizards, as stewards of Dungeons and Dragons, are making very interesting choices, I think. What do I mean by interesting? I've talked about before about how much they're leaning into personal narrative over combat mechanics, but the game is still, like, it's stuck in wargamer roots. That's what everyone expects it to be, but they really want it to be a LARP and using a D20 instead of hammer, rock, scissors. And they can't have it both ways. You can't have a heavy tactical map, miniatures for sale board game and be a LARP at the same time. So it's kind of torn between spaces. It's easy to produce book content for LARPy stuff. And they aren't so much interested in creating game products. I mean, they like outsource that to WizKids and stuff like that. They brand the D&D stuff out to those guys and have third-party figurine builders build figurines. They don't want to be in that market. They just want to be in branding. They just want to take lunchboxes and shit and slap D&D's name on it. So the less mechanically demanding the game is, it's easier for the developers to produce more books, which isn't the game, the quote unquote game that the old guard are interested in nearly as much as. I mean, there's obviously every table has the thespian extreme, and some full tables are a whole crew, a troupe, if you would, of similar thespians. So you can have really hardcore role play pillar sort of campaigns, and if that's what you're into, it is. But there's so much of the core mechanics of the book are bound to combat, exploration, social. That's the three weights of mechanics inside the book. But Wizards wants it to be narratively social, exploration, combat, because that requires the least amount of balancing, and as long as it's a good storyline, which is also debatable. They can't get checked on stuff as much. You don't have to have people doing playtesting on traps and stuff if you don't bother with traps and stuff. I'm being hard I'm being harsh towards Wizards right now, but I've got my Surly on tonight apparently, and so that's where we're going. But yeah, it's I love the IP. I love the tradition of the game. I believe in 5e as a mechanics. It's a really strong system. It's just I just think they need to spend more money on personnel. I think they need more people building the books. I think they need to invest more time in it. They need to invest a little bit more resources. They should have a higher page count if they don't want to put it on print. They should be exploring breaking up content into like, say, player mechanics and new rule expansions in print, adventures online. If you're going to have everything on a virtual tabletop anyway, then why not just have a PDF and a print on demand of all the map assets that go along with it, instead of forcing you to purchase a 64 to 100 some odd page book if it's not going to provide any options beyond an adventure. Personal philosophy here. I mean, if they're going to build an Unreal virtual tabletop, and DMsGuild is obviously invested into Roll20, so the places where you're going to play the adventure is where the adventure should be sold, says I. I'm great with players having a hard copy of the book that they need to look up spells in, because they can just beer tab the pages that they want for Fireball or whatever. I'm cool with that, but yeah, I just don't see a place for adventures being printed, unless it's like part of a deluxe edition thing. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't know how many people actually want, like, if you could spend $30 to do a virtual tabletop only adventure with a PDF along with it, or you could pay $50 for a printed version with no digital support. Which would you rather have? I suspect they're figuring that out. Boy, these letters are horrible. This is ass. Where am I at? Here. Let's do this L again. I don't know, I'm probably just angry because they don't hire me. I'm right down the street, guys. You don't have to move me. Such a hypocrite. But I believe in it so much. I just believe in what it is. D&D is awesome. Down. I can at least get the letter balancing right. Yeah. Let's just continue on with that and see where we get. I love epidemic music. Blah! Oh, that's not good. Yeesh. All right, so I might have to do a weight balance like down. Oh, God, that's interesting. Like that balance is right for the A. So that means I need to drop the gravity of the S and the O down to that center point there. It's going to be rather eggly. I don't know if that's the kind of balance that I really want. I keep hearing DMs say they fudge dice for the sake of the story. Sounds like story is king. That's what they'll sell. Yeah, I mean it's that is a large amount of feedback that we get. That people don't. I am running a table of brand new players, never played D&D before, all of them. And when we did our session 0, I asked them what was most important to them. And they said they wanted to have an entire story. This is how our session 0 shook out. We don't care what the world is or what characters we have to play to get it, but we want to play a level 1 to 20 campaign where we get to play the same characters through every time, that we will never lose our characters if we don't want to, but yet you're still killing us all the time or challenging us, so it's not okay for all. So brand new people that are coming into the game, what they want is the opportunity to play a character from 0 to the max 20th level. I mean, that's what I personally do. Like, all of my campaigns run that way. So I'm like, okay, cool. The 1 to 20 isn't the problem. I've talked about it a lot before. It's a Groundhog Day campaign. So if one of them gets killed, they reset back to the beginning of the day and they have to do the day over again. And the world ends at the end of the day. So the entire campaign is about, can we find out why the world is being destroyed? Who's doing it? Where's it at? How can we get there? And what can we do to stop it? And if we do that, will we get out of our Groundhog Day time loop? So they don't know the answer to half of that shit yet. And they're level 17. So we've been playing for 4 years, the same day over and over and over again. So it's been, but that's the answer I had to come up with. I don't want my characters to ever die, but that gives you the mentality, because these guys watch Critical Role, and they're like, we know that you aren't like Matt Mercer or whatever. We don't expect that. That's fine, but we really like. We really like the story of being able to have characters go through an entire arc, and it would suck if we had to lose our characters in the process. So I'm like, I'll build something for you, but I'm going to have to do things to make sure it works. Are you okay with me doing whatever? And they're like, yeah, we don't care what it is that you need to do. That's the experience that we want, which is like super enlightening for like brand new players. But they're all WoW fanatics and stuff like that, and some of them have been gaming together online before. So it's a cool experience, but it was that was by far the craziest session 0 directives I've ever gotten from a team. Like, I have never ran a team that was like, yeah, we don't want to die. I'm like, you know, like, I've never encountered that before. It was cool. Stools. I think I can screw around with this a little bit. I'm gonna pull that offline, so that there's space between the ulls and of, and that parses out. I think that's gonna work out. so far I'm okay. I mean, these letters are, I don't think these letters are anything particularly exciting, but right now we're just trying to get better proportions, and then we can build on top of the proportions. These will be like boring sans serif extreme, but like I said, it's just we're building a thing here. So let's let the thing get built. It's a good thing that I'm so far along in the cover process, because this stuff can just absolutely kill your motivation. Good, we're still at the right pixel size over here. Got this. Got that down. Oh, Eva. I've been watching old episodes of Galaxy High on YouTube. I don't know if anyone out there ever watched that. I think it was like 1982. It was I think it was like 16 episodes total. It's about a jock and a brainiac, a jock guy and a brainiac girl are chosen from Earth to go to a high school in the middle of the galaxy, and so that, you know, the jock that everyone assumes is going to be awesome ends up being a complete moron, and the nerd girl who only, you know, spends all her time with her books ends up being like super intuitive about how things work around here, just like groks it, and so like ends up making like a shitload of friends that get super popular out of nowhere. And it's such a what's the word I'm looking for? God, that's ugly. We'll do it like, yeah, I think we can probably do that. Like almost like a Beauty and the Beast, or like like Rags to Riches. Like, God, what was that? Pygmalion. Yeah, it's a real Pygmalion story. So alongside a Great Expectations story, Dwayne the jock boy is going through Great Expectations, while she's going through Pygmalion. So it's kind of cool. It's a great show. It's just a silly little 80s cartoon. So whatevs. So far so good. So what? Oh, yeah, I will. Thanks for the heads up. How's that? Was that still audible in the silence, but not distracting in the voice? I'm going to sit silent for a moment for you to assess. Is the music overwhelming, or is that a good mix now? Let's go back to my screen so I can see what I'm doing. Yeah, Quantum Leap, dude. I'm sure it's going to be a really easy opportunity for people to be able to say how horrible our culture used to be and how enlightened we are now in comparison to it, which is low-hanging political, social, economic baiting, which I'm not trying to do. But if you wanted to do a serial TV with high recognition that would have an easy time being able to point to the flaws of our past and be able to pat ourselves on the back about how advanced that we've come, Quantum Leap is a really, really good vehicle to do that in. Having said that, I loved Quantum Leap. I thought it was awesome, but there was also a lot of episodes that were boring. It was Scott Bakula that really made that show so good. Scott Bakula and whatever his name was, his sidekick with the tablet that clued him in on what was going on. It was, yeah, I mean, the show itself was, well, it felt like Star Trek Next Generation to me, honestly, but it was time travel. So I loved it, but it was because of the characters, that they had heart. I really hope whoever they cast into those roles are going to have just like a crap load of heart, because it's really about it's like down low cathartic empathy is what that provided, because it did address how Scott, as a white male genius of massive privilege, had to adapt to the moment of shit that was beyond his control, and he had to still try to figure out what's the right thing to do and all that. Like that is a brilliant quest, and it's a great show. And the last episode of the original Quantum Leap was just it was legitimate emotional. It was good shit. So if they can pull that same kind of value in this reboot, I'm all for it. What I really loved was the forces of evil in Quantum Leap. God, I didn't see that coming from anywhere. And like I look back at it, it's like, God, that's so choice. But it was so fun. Oh God, it was so cool. I loved that. I loved that about the original show. That was so genius. Oh God, it was just so fun. So yeah, highly recommend. 10 out of 10. Would watch again. I hope this new one can come anywhere close to measuring up, because boy, what a killer show. I'm going to attempt to duplicating this letter S, dragging it. Oof, it got bigger. Not that far off though. Try. Yeah, it's an N-ope. Let's drag it. Let's try to let's see what happens. I'm gonna duplicate this layer in case I don't like the results. It's easier just to do it this way. I'm gonna do that. Grab here. Let's do like that. If someone were to try to convince me that machines took over society and trapped us in some sort of a loop, being stuck in nostalgia revelry for the rest of eternity would be a good indication that you're inside of some sort of a data loop. That's they're lowballing us on creativity. So that's a personal philosophy there, real quick, but. If it's a simulation, it's a lazy simulation. And shame on you, robots. You should know better. You should really know better. If we were creative enough to make you in the first place, we'd be creative enough to realize that you're just going to reboot Back to the Future next year. Like, I don't know. What they need is a catalog of media that takes longer than a human lifespan to consume. I guess the dark side of that is, well, if we reduce your lifespan to 7 years, then we can just loop Batman vs. Superman forever with updated graphics every 10 years, and it'll just be amazing to you. Because you'll have gone through a generation and a half, and it'll hit people at different angles as it progresses. But that means that, you know, you have to tightly compress the lifespan of a human, and that kind of sucks. There's procreation problems, so I guess they can't really do that unless they're able to reproduce us to the human age. But I mean, seriously though, if your whole data network runs on the pumping blood of meat creatures, if you have the technology of completely genetically encoding and propagating an entire human species, why wouldn't you just make a brick? A heart brick it's just set up in a circuit that all these bricks just push blood down the way, and the beating of the flesh brick and the pulse of the blood would be able to provide that BTU energy that you needed. You didn't need to worry about sentience in any of this. It's just, you're just mean, is what it is. You're just mean. You realized that flesh can give you all the heat that your cold robot hearts need. You didn't have to breed us just to torture us. You could have just built a meat box. Or pigs. Pigs would have done the job just as well, and you don't have to worry about any of that AI shit. Just feed them fucking corn. Like, even corn can grow in scorched sky conditions. Just grow some goddamn corn. Feed it to the pigs. Live forever. Write a poem. The whole Matrix idea is just vindictive and mean. But I mean, the Wachowski brothers are kind of vindictive and mean too. So I mean, I guess you create what is in your heart, right? Am I being too snarky now? Because I can try to throttle it back a little bit, but I can feel some heat behind my eyes, and that generally means that I've got the surlies going. So hopefully I don't stick my foot in my mouth too deeply tonight. I'm really just trying to make some letters here and build some friends. I'm just gonna insult everyone that comes by. Hey, you jackass. All right, so I could probably stop futzing with that S for a few minutes, right? Oh my God, it's still too short. How'd that happen? Huh? Ugh, God. Ugh. Yeah, not a natural looking S at all. Oh well, it is what it is, right? That's what we're going with for now. Not good, my friends. But everything starts off ugly. We'll get there. That doesn't mean I get to shirk the duty of actually going through the effort of doing all of it, because I gotta go through the effort of doing all of it. That's a thing. Get out of here, you scallywag. Let me go to the letter Y. Something coming out that is nostalgia for me is a show called Oh, right on. Oh, that's gonna be a show now. Yeah, right on, dude. I saw one of the Percy Jackson movies. I bet it will do well in TV the same way that DC does well in TV. If like the same studios that are producing it or are the folks that were involved in DC shows, it'll crush. Because that DC production studio does great TV shows. I wonder if DC, if they just keep leaning into episodic programming, if they won't walk away ahead in all of this, because Marvel really relied on that big box office stuff, and those numbers just haven't rebuilt, I don't think. I'm pretty sure they're still super thin, like picking up Thor off of, like we didn't even go see the new Thor movie in the theater. We just watched it when it came out on stream because it looked like crap. Because Taiki, whatever his name is, he's not good. So if they were banking on people going to the theater to be able to recuperate the expenses of producing that, then how many of those hits are they going to take before they start disengaging from big movies like that? I don't know. I still love going to the theater. I like going to theaters that have video games because I like pumping bucks into arcade machines. There's this giant 20-foot screen, Space Invaders. That's not 20 feet. It's more like 12. But still, that's no wait. Yeah, it's a 12-foot screen, and it's got turrets. There's two turrets. There's two people, and wherever you point the gun is where it appears on the 12-foot screen. So you're traipsing around trying to shoot ships and stuff as they're going around, and it's just, oh my God, it's as crazy as Centipede gets, but they call it Space Invaders. So it's pretty cool. Big fan here. Big fan. Yeah, it's too thick. I see what I'm trying to do. I keep seeing myself thinning this thing down, and I understand now why. Because the line weight is too heavy. Oh, it wasn't such a bad line. looking forward to this cover being done. I've got more map work I can do behind this, and oh my God, Stuart Bras is crushing it on the edits. This thing is gonna feel so sleek. Oh, I'm really looking forward to him finishing it up. He just worked out the intro. Like, here's the style that we're going with. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, it crushes. This is gonna be such a badass book when it's done. I am really excited about it. I'm really excited. I'm really excited about the adventure toolkit that this thing was built from, because I want that published more than anything, because I want those lists out there. Those lists is awesome Patreon bait. It has like these different prompts, like adventure elements of adventure, like hooks and villains and locations and twists and stuff like that. And it's just it just started off as a D100 list of different plot elements, and then you roll your D100, and there's 5 of them, so you roll 5 D100, and you have 10 billion different adventures that can be generated from those 5 D100 dice. And so we just rolled one of them, and this is the mix that we landed on, and so we built this adventure out of it, and now I can go back once this thing gets published. I can come back and I can like go look at page 36, and you'll see how we layered in like this this scenario is presented as a combat scenario, but you can see how it can be built as an exploration encounter instead. Like, be able to point to actual pages inside of the adventure as a reference document for how we can apply the different tools of the toolkits that built the different plot hooks and the adventure pathing that we have inside of here to build an adventure. Like, this is the framework that we use to do that. And then I've got another adventure that I rolled out of this that I want to build next after this one, about climbing a frozen volcano to a monk temple that has a fire elemental trapped inside that an enemy an enemy monk temple invades, takes over, and tries to free the elemental so that it'll destroy the temple and reawaken the volcano that the monks of the Frozen Heart have imprisoned this fire elemental inside of. So that's I freaking love that adventure. I'm really looking forward to building that one into a toolkit too. So just like this one, just like different paths. Like, you're not going underground into like a manifest zone. You're going through subarctic weather up a mile-tall volcano to attack James Bond style. Like, I am heavily influenced by For Your Eyes Only, getting into the craggy top ancient fortress and just decimating all the chumps that you come across as you weave through it to get to the inner sanctum, so that you can get to where the Frozen Heart holds the fire elemental inside, and try to stop the cultists from releasing the fire elemental to reignite the volcano and destroy everything around it. So fun stuff. And then there's an expansion off of that gates you to the frozen wastes at the southern edge of Zendrick. So, but I love Eberron. I'm an Eberron junkie. So I'm going to take that back. I wouldn't say I'm an Eberron junkie. It is my preferred world, though, because it allows you to dive into so many different, like, there's so many different story, like, types of story and type of genres that can be supported inside of the Eberron world framework, that it's just a great go-to. I think it's weird that Spelljammer has the wild space, which has no air, and if you just keep going, you'll end up in Astral where you don't need air at all. It's like it goes from air to no air, good luck, to air doesn't even matter anymore. It's like it's not a logical transition. There's some that Oreo feels weird, you know, like the creamy milk you got to get through is really bitter. So I don't know. But I mean, like I was saying, you gotta lean into the narrative that they build for you. Otherwise, you're not really building 5th edition. So you know, you just kind of gotta scratch your head sometimes and just carry on. Anyway, I'm sure I could be called a hypocrite in God knows how many ways making those statements, but still futzing with that ass. Don't know why. Get out of there, kid. Almost there. Get out of there. Almost there. Oh no! Blew up. Luke, it's time for your run. I'm gonna put a big ol' R in here. R for red leader. Red leader. Let's build. Let's build, I don't know, let's build a circle? Oh, big mistake. Mistakes were made. There we go. Azimabush. Why does it do? That's why. There we go. Perfect. Now let's do that. I said do that. Thank you. And now let's go something like that. That's probably how I should do my S's. I think I learned something. I learned something here today, my friends. I think I learned something. We're going to go to select and modify, contract 15 equals, blip. Look at that action. There's good stuff out there for everyone, folks. Let's try. Try this. Whew, woof. I don't know about that. All right, well, this is where we're at, so let's just do it. Yeah, that goes like that. Select equals modify equals contract 15. Poof, man, almost. Because I have a Mabar coming up. I have a letter B that I got to worry about. It's coming around. Man, that's not... I'm not hating that. I am not hating that. Drop this guy back down to 15 up here. There you go, buddy. That'll probably end up working for my blade. Let's do that. So merge those down and let's duplicado. Let's take this guy. And give you the letter R, sir. Look at that. Oh man, that's pretty good targeting. Let's see. Got a larger surface area than that though, so let's... This isn't the right way to do this, but this is how we're going to do it for now, just to fill the space. See, that makes this more than 15 pixels wide now, and it elongates it oddly, but screw you. It fits, so that's how we're gonna do it for now. Letter B. R. Yeah, man. Thanks a lot for being here. Don't want to do it like that. It feels a little too sudden. Let's trim that out. Let's curve that to something that feels right. Something like that. Then we can cut, paste, and then duplicate, enter, drop, do like that. Oof, man, not horrible. I'm not hating it. The letter R. R. That feels clumsy and weird. That's probably not the right way to do it, but it's a start. So we can merge all that garbage down, and then we can duplicate. Now, R. Grab this guy. Going to duplicate this one. Hang on. Mabar. B-A-R. A. And then oh, I've got too much suds in my cup. It's making me overheat. I need to grab some water real quick. Checking on, let's see, checking on the sound balance. Yeah, Flutes, if you can give me a word back to make sure that's the volume you were talking about, I'd appreciate that. I'm gonna grab some water, I'll be RB. Got the crystals on my bar. Crystals on my bar. Crystals on my bar. Bar. Crystals on my bar. Bar. Crystals on my bar. The crystals on my bar. Alright, we're back. Back from our commercial break. I hope you bought some coffee or whatever. Let's go down over here. Do I just want to do that? I mean, having them fade out isn't... Ugh, yeah, that's not balanced well. Bad job, Kearney. Actually, that's sitting okay. I just gotta do this over. Get rid of that. Yeesh, grab this. Maybe not trim it so short. Something like that-ish. Should probably be fine. Go like that. I'm gonna go cut, paste, paste, hide here equals mirror R. A little further. That looks cool. Ah, neat. Okay, that kind of works. Like that. Bar. Where'd my letter B go? There it is. B. It's their whole time. Mabar. Let's fix this A real quick. Transform equals flip. Yeah, I can tell balance is going to be an issue there. Letters. That's okay. We're just gonna do them like they do, and we'll figure out the proper sizing as we go, like we were saying. Yeesh. Absolutely not right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do like a curve effect to be able to sync all these like line lengths together so that it feels congruous. Congruous, that might be the right word. It feels a little disjointed right now, the way that everything has this stepping effect. I don't think I want that. I don't think I want that stepping. We'll see. And we're at 15 up here. 1, 2. Oh, jeez. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. This is absolutely not the right way to do this. It's a pickle. It is a real pickle figuring out the balance that we should use. I mean, it's... Concerns are being made. All right. Well, we're almost where we're supposed to be. So let's just get there and then figure it out. We're gonna go with merge down and the letter C. Oh, that's an interesting interaction. I like that. That's kind of cool. You absolutely can't do anything with it. All right. Well, now that we've got the basics figured out, let's. Bar. Yeah, that M's getting scrunched. Probably means that I can compress down these a bit. Yeah, equal parsing for each character isn't panning out. So I'm going to have to compress this over this way so that I can spread this out a bit. It must be done. Can't be helped. All right, so phase 2. It might be easier just to do it that way. That's true. Duplicate that group. I'm going to. Yeah, I still got a half hour or so of playtime right now, so I'm just going to keep playing. Meow, meow. Squeezing up space a bit just to see what I can monkey out of this. Like the equidistance here and here is what I want right now. And I can press these things over like that, which lets me grab and pull this. That. Right. Meow. Ellen Raw. Spacing. Spacing. Open up that A a bit. I think this is going to work out. Do. I'm gonna hit the save button here real quick while I can, before the system crashes on me. I think this is gonna work out. I just got to figure out the right. I just got to figure out the right ratios for the letters. Like this S needs to be a hell of a lot less aggressive. Transform. Merge. The letter sizing's all wrong, but it's a start. So just got to rebuild the curve. So let's rebuild it. Honestly, if I leave that heavy curve off, I can probably make this a lot easier on myself. I can probably do something like here. Duplicate that layer. Free transform equals free transform equals flip horizontal. Let's push it across the board. Feels the same. brick there. Uh-huh. Yeah, fell a little short. There we go. Kids. Good. Let's just keep lining up boxes here. There's that down, and then what's a good cut spot? There. That will be better. So let's merge that down. Do it like that. Logo. Logo. White box. Oh, hell yeah. I got a good feeling about this drop. I always say that, Frost. You always say, I got a great feeling about this drop. Well, I do. Tell you what. When you come home a millionaire, I'll tell your parents. Right on, man. No, you're not beholden to me in any way, Flutes. I just want to know if the sound balance is still good now. You asked me to drop the vol a bit, and I just want to make sure that it's pacing properly now with the volume I have on my voice. So I'm glad you and your fam are good, man. Groceries are sacred time. Let's see. Yeah, that feels appropriate. Let's build some more curve. This is the start. Yeesh, there's some imperfections here. Hate that. Boop, 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 boop. Thank you. Appreciate the feedback most of all. But yeah, thanks for the confirmation. Oh, my eye. Horrible. Duplicate this layer. Horizontal, which means I need to drop the white box down to yonder. We'll drag this across. How's that off? It isn't. Weird. Gonna draw this little dude up, have it line up. Yeah, that lines up perfect. All right, buddy, and then you gotta do this. That means this is off. Huh. Well, I guess that's plausible. Let's pick it. Now it feels unbalanced. No, that frame is still right because that box still is valid. I haven't moved the white box. Huh. let's go with where's the white box? Let's see if we do that. Yeah, this feels like the right thing to do. Hold on. Yeah, okay, we can just group those and then duplicate the group and then merge the group. Merge the group. Let me go. Outside, and then we go. How do we do this? Like that, that. We go. Select inverse. It should allow us to do things like this. Nice. Just like that. Right on, dude. I hope you have a great night. Love to the family. Thanks for hanging out with me. That's a very kind investment of your time. I appreciate you. And I'm looking forward to seeing whatever you got coming out next, man. Sleep well. It's Seattle here, almost 9 o'clock, almost midnight on the East Coast. Euro friends, good morning. I don't want to do that. That. I got Bjork in my head. I can't listen to Bjork yet. I have to wait for that licensing thing with YouTube to fix itself up. Oh man, there's so much music I want to listen to while I paint. Like, I would paint more on stream if it wasn't for the fact that I just absolutely love listening to licensed music. And it just feels weird listening to it on my headset while you guys don't. It just doesn't feel like I'm connected. So I haven't done that yet. Don't think I'm going to. I've done it twice over on when I used to stream on Twitch, and it just felt wrong. Like, you guys are listening to this and I'm listening to Rush. That's not fair. It's not fair to anybody. Least of all, people who don't know who Rush is. Oh, Rush. God, Rush is so good. If you don't know Rush, go look up Rush. Listen to the radio, Spirit of Radio, and then come back. There we go. Some balance there. Let's get clean the sky fog like that. The logo like that. Where's my sky frame? Let's do that. Title. Drop down further. White box. Take that down further. All right, so we're back into it. Duplicate the group, merge the group. White frames. Text. Grab the text. I don't think it's the right box. Okay, let's try again. Yeah. It's like that a bit. That a bit, I'm gonna do like that a bit. No space for of. Transform equals warp. Hmm. I like the idea of being centered because crystals of Mabar is 3 words. So, Mabar, but it might actually be LS. Let's try pushing these back a bit like this. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, thin those letters up and thinking those. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Something's going terribly wrong somewhere. Oh, it's 9:03. Yep. Okay. That's my poll for the day. We're making progress, folks. These things don't happen overnight. So I'm gonna keep hammering away at it, and hopefully when we pick up back again, I'll have some solutions. So I hope you guys have a great night. Like, subscribe, check out the book links below. Follow me on Twitter. Share this with somebody. Definitely subscribe and just let some of the hours of this stuff play out. Be welcome to listen to as much as you want, or just let it scroll in the background so I can rack up some hours. I really appreciate you being here and your support, and I'll catch you on the other side. Cheers.